Hello, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I am here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments so that I may answer your questions. Tonight, I'll be talking about applying for status through VAWA. What does that mean? Who qualifies? And what does the process look like? You can go ahead and put your questions in the comments. I will still go ahead and answer your immigration questions, and your questions don't have to be related to the topic that I'm talking about. So VAWA, first of all, what is VAWA? VAWA is the Violence Against Women's Act. Even though it has the name Violence Against Women's Act, it includes all genders, all sexual orientations, and so it is not just restricted to a marital situation. It's not just restricted to protecting women against abuse. It also protects men, children, mothers, and fathers. So if you are being mistreated by a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, spouse, or parent, if you're under 21, under 25 in some cases, or by a U.S. citizen, son or daughter who's 21 and up, you may be able to qualify for status on your own in the United States. You can do this by submitting a special petition and along with evidence proving that you're going through this type of mistreatment or extreme cruelty. Once you've submitted the documentation, in some cases, you can apply for adjustment of status at the same time. And when you do that, you can apply for a work permit and travel document to be able to get these benefits while you wait for your permanent residence, your VAWA application, as well as your permanent residence to be completed. It is very beneficial, especially to those who are already here without status. They are in a situation where their spouse is being abusive, their spouse is refusing to apply for them, and they need status to move on and to gain independence, gain power over their situation. Now, this does include emotional mistreatment or abuse, mental, verbal, financial as well. And so it doesn't just involve the physical abuse, even though that does qualify. It does not have to involve it, does not have to involve the police, and does not have to involve medical records showing physical injuries, doesn't even have to involve pictures showing any kind of injuries that you may have sustained, even though that is helpful if you do have it. I'm going to take pause to answer an incoming question. Can a Bahamian teacher get granted permission to live and teach in Florida? So you would have to go through the immigration process like anybody else. So it is not an automatic type of situation where you get to just come into the United States as a Bahamian teacher and then just start working and getting permission. You'd have to make sure that you qualify like other individuals to be able to get the kind of status that is necessary to be able to live and teach here in the United States. Keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments now. I'm going to continue talking about VAWA, applying for VAWA. Now, the kinds of benefits you get, I mentioned before. If you do qualify for this, you would qualify if you are being mistreated by a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, a parent if you're under 21, under 25 in some cases, or by a U.S. citizen's son or daughter who's 21 and up. If you are in a situation where you're being mistreated verbally, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, then you should schedule a consultation. Let's fully evaluate your case to make sure that you meet each and every one of the requirements and then get started on your case. Once we get started, you would be able to apply for a special petition, and this is a type of petition that you would submit on your own. You don't need to involve the relative who is mistreating you. You don't need their signature. You don't need to notify them. You don't need to have them in any way involved. It is, as a matter of fact, it is an extremely confidential process that is meant to protect you as the petitioner. So are you able to process those types of cases? So yes, I do employment-based ABACO, but I would have to determine whether you qualify. Usually to qualify, you'll either have to show that you qualify as a teacher in the United States, that you're able to qualify through an employer, or even self-petition if you meet certain requirements. But that's going to involve scheduled consultation. You can go ahead and schedule the consultation by going to the link in my bio. You will see a button to schedule your own appointment, or you can go ahead and call and speak to a scheduling coordinator. So if an employer wants to sponsor an employee, how long does that take to process? So it depends. It could range. It depends on the country, of course. For example, India and China do have long wait periods. And if you have to wait for an immigrant visa number to become available, that's going to add to the wait time. But if once it becomes current, you're looking at anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, depending on the process, depending on whether you have to go through the labor certification process or whether you can bypass that. So ABACO teacher, I'm looking forward to speaking with you and assisting you. Can my mom live in the States while filing for her? If she's already outside of the United States, then she would have to go through consular processing. If she is already here in the U.S., then it may be a possibility. If you're a U.S. citizen and you are 21 or over, then it may be a possibility for you to apply for your mom while she's here. But that's where I'd have to schedule a consultation to determine your circumstances and to determine whether that would be the right option for your mom. So Chantel, so you said, let's see. So you said USA, and I'm not sure. So if you're going through an employer, you could be looking at anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, maybe longer, depending on the country and whether you have an immigrant visa number available to you. So does the U.S. support self-sponsoring? In some cases. So this is, for example, the VAWA that I'm talking about, that is a form of self-petitioning if you are facing mistreatment by a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, parent, or citizen son or daughter who's 21 and up. But they're also employment-based. For example, there's a national interest waiver. There's the extraordinary ability permanent residence. In those two areas, you can self-petition if you can show that you meet the qualifications for example, the national interest waiver, to show that you have something valuable to bring to the table in the United States, that you will be coming into the United States to continue your kinds of work. For example, if there is a shortage of physicians and you are coming in as a physician yourself, that there may be a possibility to get the national interest waiver. But it is not just only limited to physicians. It could be other types of positions. That could be that if you hold an advanced degree, if you hold qualifications in that particular field, you could come in on a national interest waiver. There's also the extraordinary ability green card. So if you show that you're at the top of your field in your career, and your career is within any one of these fields, it could be athletics, it could be arts, it could be science, it could be education, or business. So if it is any one of these, then you may qualify for extraordinary ability, but you have to fall within specific criteria. You have to show at least 3 out of 10 pieces of evidence. Some of those evidence would include prizes, awards, national or international. You're renowned in your field. You're the member of a selective committee based on your talent and the fact that you're respected in your field. If you have written publications or there are publications written about you, if you've been invited to be the judge on a panel in your area, if you're a part of an association in your field, and then those could be some examples. If you're paid higher than the usual because you are so revered in your field, then this could also qualify you for that type of green card. So if you would like to explore your options to pursue this, definitely schedule a consultation, and we can talk more about those options, and I can evaluate whether you qualify. Now, go ahead and schedule your consultation, you can go to the link in my bio. And when you get there, there is a button where you can schedule your own, or you can call the number right now. The numbers on all my videos is 561-405-4889. You can go ahead, call that number, and you can also click on the website button at the same link, and it will take you to the website. There are 3 ways to get in touch right now. There's this with a scheduling coordinator. There's the online chat, there's the online form to fill out, the contact form, and then there's the number on the website. So you can choose any one of those ways to get through to a scheduling coordinator, who will then put you on my schedule so we can start talking about what you may qualify for. All right, so keep putting those questions in the comments. I am right now talking about the VAWA, applying for VAWA. That is status. You're applying for your own status, your own work permit, your own permanent residence, your own travel document in the United States, but you have to be facing certain circumstances, such as if you're being mistreated by certain qualifying relatives. Once I do determine you qualify, we get straight to work and we go ahead, we submit, we submit your petition, we submit your work permit application, we submit your travel document, and then once the process is started, you will go through a background check, and then if you have applied for a work permit, then that will come. Right now it's taking 7 to 11 months for that to come, and then after that you would get a decision on your case, and then it would go on to the permanent residence process. So if this is something that's familiar to you, and you should definitely schedule a consultation, and we can get started on your case once we determine you qualify. Do you think it's good to speed up an asylum process? So it's J for real. It's gonna depend on your case. I wouldn't be able to advise you. There's no way I can say whether it's good for in general to speed up an asylum case. There may be benefits, there may not be. So you have to get your case evaluated personally. Hi, I am DQ since November. I haven't heard back from the NVC as yet, any advice. So unfortunately, they are taking a while, GERDAT. They're taking a while to go ahead and schedule interviews at certain embassies, and it really depends on where you are. If you have any questions, you can always call the NVC. Because remember, I'm not your attorney, and so I wouldn't know what's going on and how long it's going to take. Because I'm not aware of what's going on in your case. I'm getting married at the end of the month. Can I file for my wife right after, and how long? So WASI 11, it really depends. There is nothing, and thanks so much for the love, by the way. Dark Horse 45, it's nice to see you. There's nothing in the law that says you can't apply right away for your spouse. But if, for example, you're here, you're on adjustment of status, then it may not be advisable for you to do that right after getting married. And even the whole process of getting married, you want to be careful with that. So WASI 11, that's where you need to schedule a consultation, because you want to make sure that when you are applying, that you're applying at the right time, that you have the right evidence. One thing I'm noticing is that I am getting a lot of consultations where people are getting denied because they start this process, they underestimate the process. They think it's just a matter of filling out forms when that is not the case. They go ahead, submit a form on their own without fully understanding the implications of their situation, and then they get into some big problems. So I would advise you to schedule a consultation and also consider legal representation through your process. Is the Jamaican embassy open? So King and Baby Doll, yes, it's open. However, they may be limiting certain visas. And so that's why there may be a backlog with certain visas. So they're open, they're doing interviews. It's just that it may be taking long to get to your case or to get visas in general. All right, so I am pretty much finished with the explaining VAWA. If you're going through this situation where you're here in the United States, you are facing mistreatment. Your spouse, for example, they are manipulative, they're controlling, they're refusing to apply for you. They are even taking your money away from you. They're very jealous. These are things that you should not be going through. And remember, abuse is abuse, no matter what form it comes in. If this person never hit you, but they are carrying on in this way, restricting you, controlling you, this is still a form of abusive behavior. And at the least, it can amount to extreme cruelty. So you would definitely want to go ahead and schedule a consultation. Let's see if we can move forward in your process if you qualify. And that it's life-changing because you get to control where you're going, your future in the United States. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you, and you can go ahead, call now. There's a scheduling coordinator who's available up until 11 p.m. tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern time. You can also go to the link in my bio. You can explore the buttons. There are different options for you to get in touch and schedule a consultation. So I don't see any more questions coming in. I'm going to call it a night, but I will be back tomorrow at around 9 p.m. Eastern time, where I will continue to take your questions and hopefully, and I also come with a topic that we can discuss further. All right, so have a great night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. One more thing though, I am not going for good. I'm actually going to Instagram. So I'll be on Instagram in 1 minute. If you are just tuning in, you want to learn more, you can always hop on to Instagram, hop on over there. Most of my content is on Instagram. I only do lives on TikTok, and I release videos on YouTube, but I don't usually release the videos here on TikTok. So what you can do is you can join me on Instagram, where you will not only get to join me on live, but you'll get to see content, so videos throughout the day. Those videos, go ahead. So Vanilla, you can join me on Instagram. I'm going over there in a minute. So I'm the immigration attorney on Instagram. If you go to the link in my bio, there's a button for Instagram. You can go there and follow me as well. So you have, even though you've missed this, you have another opportunity to join me on Instagram in a minute. So go ahead, join me over there where we can continue this conversation. If you can't do that, then hopefully I'll see you tomorrow at around 9 p.m. Eastern time, or I'll speak with you in a consultation. Have a great night.